All right, San Francisco 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. 49ers favored by 7. Powerhouse 49ers, number 1 in everybody's power rankings. And they're favored by 7 against the Browns. Deshaun Watson has not been practicing. He has bruising around the rotator cuff. Not sure I've heard that one before.
He's been medically cleared.
What's going on there?
So Stefanski has been kind of dancing on this semantics pinhead of, well, there's a difference between being medically cleared and being able to actually do your job, as a quarterback. Like, well, not a big one. Theoretically, that's actually the line, right? Is once you're medically cleared, you can go out there and do your job. I mean, how bad must he be playing whilst medically cleared for them to be going, no, we're still going to start PJ?
I mean, they're not trying to start PJ Walker or DTR over him.
But that's my point. Like, how bad must he be throwing the ball medically cleared that they're still going, PJ's better right now?
Yeah, but is it a Watson thing? Is it a pain management thing? Is he just in a ton of pain but still medically cleared? Can those things can coexist, right?
Sure.
Like
usually those are,
because medically cleared is like, hey, you won't damage it anymore. It's a pain tolerance thing.
Usually when that happens, the quarterback's out there playing, and it's generally expected that he's not going to be catastrophic.
If you want to remain consistent, though, back in 2021, Baker had the left shoulder deal, and you said he should sit out. He's in a contract year. He should sit out.
Right. Watson's not in a contract year. In fact, he already has $230 million guaranteed contracts.
So you should go out there and play.
Well, I mean, look, the reason for Baker not doing that is exactly the way it unfolded, which was you might be willing to lay your health on the line for the team, but they're very unlikely to reciprocate. And in fact, they were like, you know what? Actually, we don't think Baker's the guy. Look how badly he played this year. Like, yeah, with a torn shoulder that he made worse trying to help out the team. So he hadn't got his money yet. And he basically got that contract taken away from him because he went out there and gritted through an injury that he should have shut down from. Watson has got the biggest guaranteed contract in NFL history, and so that's not a concern anymore. Like, if he has a career-ending injury off the back of this, he still has $230 million guaranteed sitting there. So get out there. You've been medically cleared. Strap it up.
We got some conspiracy theories in the chat. Internal suspension. There's stuff going on. I mean, it's Watson, right? Those rumors are swirling. I think nothing against PJ Walker or DTR. Takes a little bit of the luster off this matchup because the Browns are coming off a bye. That's the other part of this, by the way. Watson not practicing, coming off a bye. Like, something's going on here.
Yeah, having been medically cleared for a while.
Yeah, something's happening. But it takes a little bit of the luster off this game, not because Watson's been playing great, but it was the last time we saw him, looked much better. And the Browns' defense has been outstanding. Watson, so he missed week 4. What week are we in? He missed week 4. He's played 3 games, Watson. His third game was good. Missed week 4, by week 5, and he's still out right now. But the Browns' defense has been outstanding. I know they gave up a little bit against the Ravens, had a couple short fields in there and everything, but they're still by far number 1 in success rate allowed by offenses. It's not even close. They're the best defense there. Lowest percentage of 10-plus yard throws. So we got strength against strength here. Because Purdy's completing like 75% of his 10-plus yard throws, and the Browns are allowing only 36%. That's lowest in the NFL. Something has to give here in Cleveland against MVP candidate Brock Purdy.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the 49ers look phenomenal right now. Like, this will be a good test for how unstoppable this offense is. It is dialing up. It has answers for everything. It's dialing up, untouched, unbroken plays, left, right, and center. Brock Purdy has just this insane record in terms of the volume of plays he's looking at there that don't have perfect coverage, that have a breakdown somewhere, right? Somebody's getting beat. But now you're going up against what looks like the best defense in the NFL. Can they make a dent against it? Because if they can't, nobody's stopping this offense. But if they can slow it down, now you might start to see what Brock Purdy does bring to the table. And I'm not saying it isn't anything, right? But we get a better answer because now he has to do it once that offensive scheme runs out of answers. So honestly, that's the matchup here. Forget Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland offense, blah, blah, blah. That's probably going to be a struggle regardless, but I'm really fascinated to see, can this defense make an impact on what is currently a runaway freight train?
I'll repackage the earlier stat. Brock Purdy, 10.2 yards per attempt on first reads, looks. Basically, wherever he's looking at the top of his drop, when he throws to that same side of the field, or if it's the middle of the field, he throws that way. 10.2 yards per attempt. That's number one in the NFL. It's Kyle Shanahan and his entire tree that are up among the leaders. I also looked it up. Since 2020, you know who's number one in that stat since 2020? Jimmy Garoppolo, right? So again, just adding to this Brock Purdy conversation, not taking away from anything that he's doing. Is he elevating the previous Shanahan offense? Absolutely. But he's elevating it from a baseline that's already extremely, extremely high. And that's what makes the Niners so dangerous right now with all those weapons and then Brock Purdy playing within that system at a very high level.
I'm going to repackage the analysis from the Micah Parsons thing last week. But remember, you had Micah Parsons going up against Trent Williams, right? On the one hand, from a viewer's point of view, like matchup, it's an amazing matchup to watch. Two of the best players at their respective positions going one-on-one. On the other hand, from a defensive, like play calling, coaching perspective, why would you let that happen when you can move your amazing Defensive Player of the Year candidate to some other player and beat up on him all day? Myles Garrett generally plays over the left tackle. Remember, there was a lot made earlier this season of they're moving him around, they're trying to get him better looks. He's been doing that crossover thing pre-snap, blah, blah, blah. When you look at how often that's happened, it's actually a pretty small number, and it's been getting smaller as the weeks go on. It's like they sort of showed it. Hey, don't think you can look at Myles Garrett just being against your left tackle every play. He's going to move around. And then they just put him back at left tackle. It's like, he's winning every time anyway. What the hell? I'd get back to using that as much as you can. Flip him sides, let him line up in the middle, let him rush in the B gaps. I just wouldn't put him one-on-one against Trent Williams every play because it's probably going to dull his effectiveness.
As a viewer, I want to see Myles Garrett versus Trent Williams as often as possible.
But I suspect
it'll
go the same as last week, right?
I would take my guy, Obo Okoronkwo, sacrifice him to Trent Williams. Sacrifice Obo to Trent, right? Yeah. You're going to rush 30 times. You might win one. But Myles Garrett's going to move around. Zadarius Smith's going to move around. We got to create some kind of havoc here.
Right.
7-point spread here. The matchup of the Niners offense versus the Browns defense looks awesome and fun. On the other side, though, if the Browns are starting P.J. Walker or DTR, 7 doesn't feel like enough. No. And I know P.J. Walker had spurts of incredible play last year. You just never know where that's going to come from. I'm not seeing it happening here. I'll take the Niners to cover the 7.
Yeah, I'm kind of assuming they are not starting Deshaun Watson at this point, I think, because of whatever the hell's happening there, at which point I don't see a Browns team being able to keep within 7.
If they were starting Watson, would you change your pick there? I'll allow it.
Yes, I think I would.
Okay. Just because seven's a lot.
I think their defense will actually blunt the 49ers a bit.
We could let's talk on Sunday. We should be able to change our picks here because I assume the spread would be closer to 4 or 5.
Without?
Without, but it's not without because the line's going to move, right? I don't think it's 7 with Watson, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a sort of hedging line at the moment or if it's a line assuming.
I'll tell you what, if you told me P.J. Walker, I don't care where the game is, it's in Cleveland, but if you told me P.J. Walker's starting against this Niners team, I would expect double digits.
Yeah, but it's moved already like a couple of points from when it showed up. So I think they're already kind of factoring in it's probably not Watson. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.